Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rebel Rewind. My name's Christopher. With me, as always, is my friend Eric from Sire Speed Reviews. How you doing, Eric?
I'm good, man. How's your Tuesday? How's your evening so far?
It's
Good.
Tuesday, right? It's
Yeah.
Tuesday. So,
Tongs Day. like
right? Tongues Day.
Tongues
Yes,
Day.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, Tongues Day. That's right.
Yeah.
Good one. Yes. What we should start. We should start referencing that every week. We'll call it
Yep.
Tongues Day every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How was your day? How's work?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. Um, Not too much happening Star Wars news wise. Hey,
No.
we got a couple
Quiet.
stories. Couple stories. Um, I guess with Skeleton Crew done now. Not too much going on. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for next week's episode. We're gonna be ranking our live action, all the live action Star Wars
hmm
series. We're gonna have our guest on next week as well to come on and
Should be a
rank
fun one.
their rank them from our least favorite to our favorite. So you
I
definitely don't
want to
want to
see
miss
how
that
the
one.
I want to see how the skeleton crew, if that shifts anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then today, if you notice, there's a little bar at the bottom that says A-list actors in Star Wars. Is it good or bad? We're gonna be chatting about that after we take a look at some news articles and rumors today. So yeah, because with 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 the recent news that we covered last week of Ryan Gosling being cast in the Sean Levy Star Wars movie, or like being like I would say like this close, like he's that close to being
hmm
cast, right? So with that news, like he's a big A-list actor. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because like we've seen both sides of it, right? And we'll get into that later.
hmm
So definitely let us know in the comments what you think. But yeah, let's jump into our first story. So we got another writer for the Ray movie. This is like what, like the third or fourth writer, I think now.
Just going
So
through all of them now.
right? It's like, is this even gonna happen? I don't know. But yeah, new Jedi Order Star Wars film finds a new writer in George Nolfi, I guess his name is. In a surprising turn of events, we have another major news item relating to the in development Star Wars movies this week. Just days ago, the Hollywood Reporter revealed that Ryan Gosling might join Sean Levy's upcoming Star Wars film. Now they're saying that the writer director George Nolfi will write Daisy Ridley's forthcoming new Jedi Order film, which is the one I believe that is directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. So Nolfi's filmmaking background thus far has consisted largely of work in the action and thriller genres. So I mean
hmm
that's kind of cool. He can bring
That's
like some drama, some thriller to Star Wars, I guess, some mystery stuff like that.
yeah. Born
So
Ultimatum is a good series.
yeah,
hmm
so having penned among others Ocean's 12 and The Bourne Ultimatum, however, he has dipped his toe into period drama as well with his 2020 movie The Banker. As THR notes, he is just the latest in a series of scribes to work on this movie, which will be set years after the rise of Skywalker. Yeah, so Oscar winner Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is still on board to direct the movie, which is being tentatively called New Jedi Order. She has been attached to it since the summer of 2022, so like going on 3 years pretty soon. Um, Having gone through two full rotations of writers and at least one creative overhaul following the exit of Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson in early 2023. For now, the trade is saying that the story will take place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker and see Rey rebuilding the Jedi Order. However, given the many bumps along the road, it's possible some of the story may have changed. Um, project was supposed to be the next feature film to be released, but delays related to the strike and script writing pushed it back. So much so that it won't even be the next project to go into production. After The Mandalorian and Grogu, that spot will seemingly be taken by the Sean Levy's Untitled movie, especially if Ryan Gosling signs on to do that. A fall shoot is being eyed for that one, and then the James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi is also progressing swiftly with a new draft by the Bo William, or by he and Bo Willman due out soon. So I guess we'll have to see. What do you think? Because like this is like, yeah, the third.
Yeah.
So they had Stephen Lindoff and Justin Britt Gibson, and then they had Stephen Knight, and now they have this guy. So yeah, this is like the fourth writer.
I wonder why everybody just keeps backing out of all this.
I know that's the thing. Like, is there creative differences between is there creative differences between Kathleen Kennedy and these writers? Like, are they not happy with the story? What are your thoughts?
I have, man, that's the $1 million question. Why don't they want to touch this, or why they keep getting, or they'll cement somebody, and then somebody else will just, he'll back out, and then somebody else will come in to write it, and it's just, I don't know, it's a jumbled mess. But I don't know, they need to get somebody. I mean, if this is the person, hey, Bourne Ultimatum is good, and he done
12 was good.
Which other ones?
Ocean's 12. Let me just pull up his IMDb.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Maybe maybe they just don't want to continue. I don't know. Differences of opinion of maybe the director, the writers. I have no idea where they want to go with this. It's just nobody really wants to get too close with it, or get tied to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. But if this is the guy they get, then he's good at what he does. He made some good movies. So
yeah. I mean, he doesn't have too much under his belt, really.
Is that the only two that he's done?
I'm looking. Let me share the IMDb page here. So for writing, so like he's directed 8, produced 8, and wrote 9. So let's get rid of those. So The Banker in 2020, Spectral in 2016, which I've never heard of, Allegiance, The Adjustment Bureau, The Bourne Ultimatum, I think I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. The Bourne Ultimatum, which I enjoyed. The Sentinel, I don't think I've seen. Timeline, and Ocean's 12. So, I mean, he seems to be in the same genre as the last guy, Stephen Knight, though, right? Because this guy's written, what did it say? That he's written stuff, horror. Where are we? Yeah, action and thriller genres, which is about the same genres that Stephen Knight did writing for, right? So, I mean, I guess if anything, he could continue where Stephen Knight left off, possibly. But the fourth writer, it's like what's going on, right? Like, are they having too many creative differences? I mean, it's good that they're not like going with the first writer and letting them just have free reign. Like, it's good that they're kind of being like, this is what we want to have. Don't go off and do this. Maybe they're setting like some ground rules and stuff, like what they don't want to see, and maybe that's causing creative differences, right? So
maybe sometimes I guess a writer don't want to have their hands tied.
That's true, right?
Well, it's lots to speculate about, because I mean, everybody keeps. I mean, they'll get on air, and then like a few months later they back out, and so
it is weird. But I mean, I guess for the writer who actually finishes this script and stuff. I guess if it does well enough, maybe they'll get a little bit more creative freedom on the next project they work on, right? The next Star Wars project they work on. So
yeah,
I
or
guess we'll have to wait and see, right?
done.
Yeah, it could be just a one and done.
Go well.
Yeah, right. So we'll have to wait and see for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because this doesn't look good whenever it keeps getting passed on to somebody else. So
yeah,
I guess they don't have trust in. I don't know.
Yeah,
in the story or whatever.
I guess.
So, first story for this evening that I've got is Natalie Portman reportedly filmed scenes as Padme Amidala for Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but they were cut for the show. All right, so it's been reported that Natalie Portman filmed scenes as Padme for the Kenobi series, only for those scenes to ultimately be cut from the final version of the show. All this came to light when Jeff Snyder made an appearance on the Hot Mic podcast hosted by John Rocha. He let out bombshells detailing that Natalie Portman has shot scenes for the Kenobi series while at work on Thor: Love and Thunder in 2022. Snyder said she previously did shoot some stuff for the Kenobi series while working on Thor, but it didn't make the final cut. The lack of inclusion of scenes featuring Padme raises some interesting editorial decisions made regarding Obi-Wan Kenobi series. This cut feels like a missed opportunity to provide more depth to Obi-Wan Kenobi's inner conflict. That being said, to this day, Portman's performance as Padme is amongst the defining aspects of the prequels. Her definitive, passionate expression of the character gained her much admiration to this day. Her return to the Kenobi series feels like one that those rare chances where fans could have gotten to see a favorite character in a different light. Since neither Lucasfilm nor Disney has made any comments about the content of the cutscene, fans are left to theorize what the inclusions of Padme actually would have meant. Ultimately, the cutscene from the Kenobi series remains a tantalizing what if for fans. For now, the mystery surrounding Padme's film scenes continue to fuel curiosity, speculation, and conversation, leaving many to wonder if we ever get to see a glimpse of what could have been. So, question to you, Chris, seeing the direction that the Kenobi series took, looking back prospectively, do you think Padme scenes being cut hurt the series, or you think it would have helped? Because would you, for example, you as a director, would you have kept the scenes if it would have made sense to keep it in there?
It's hard to say. I guess because they did do some flashback scenes with Obi-Wan and Anakin at the temple, right? And it kind of made sense to the story. But what kind of scenes would they have had with Obi-Wan and Padme? Maybe other scenes with between him and Padme before Anakin turned to evil, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I mean, basically,
it's really hard to say. I don't know if I don't know if it necessarily would have made this. I don't know if we missed out big. But it's kind of funny that we're getting this news after we got the rumor that she was close to signing to come on to the Ahsoka series, right?
Exactly.
So that's what I want to see. I want to see Clone Wars flashbacks, them in their Clone Wars gear and Padme, talking to Anakin maybe via hologram or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know the show kind of took in a direction that a lot of us we didn't care too much for, or at least me, talking for myself.
Yeah.
It was good. We got the Inquisitors. We got Reva, a new character, but it was focused so heavily on Reva rather than what I think most of us wanted was more of between Anakin and Obi-Wan and that relationship and that turmoil, and then have Padme would have been I mean, I know that's where they're trying to introduce new characters. I get it.
Yeah,
And we're trying to move forward, and it's all about, what they can sell and things like that, merchandising and things like that. But I think they would have focused a little bit more on that and less on Riva and the Inquisitors, and brought the story more towards the prequels. I think that would have worked out
yeah,
a little bit better. But I'm not a director or writer or anything like that.
right.
But I think that would have worked out better, in my opinion.
Yeah. If the scenes with Padme were like perhaps like different, like a different angle of him talking to her on Mustafar, or
Mhm.
like something like that, and he's remembering her, and it's really affecting him because he lost his best friend Anakin, he lost another good friend Padme, and then what if they had brought in like Duchess Satine, right? Because that was his big
Yes,
love
yes,
interest in the Clone Wars.
dude, that
Like
would
he
have been.
lost all these people. Like
Mhm.
all of these things are things that could that are affecting him not wanting to help the galaxy at the beginning of
Mhm.
Kenobi, right? Like because he's just like shut down. He lost all these people, and losing his best friend, his Padawan, was like the last straw, right? So
Mhm.
if they had like different flashback scenes for each character, that would have been pretty cool. But I don't know if it
Yeah.
was it would it have been necessary? Probably not.
Yeah,
So
I guess, but
yeah, it's tough. It is tough.
yeah,
Like we don't know what these scenes were, right? Like if they
yeah,
ever release these scenes, and we see them, then we could judge. But like without knowing the context of the stuff that she shot, it's kind of hard to
mhm,
say like if it would have made a difference. So
yeah, yeah. There's a little bit of some of that heartbreak he had to deal with, right? Duchess Satine, Padme.
yeah,
Then that would have been a nice little addition to it. I mean, we're
yeah,
they never talked about it and bringing in Duchess Satine, but if they did, and
yeah.
would have,
I know the fans want it. Like I know
yeah,
myself as a fan, like I would love to see that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But we always have to go back to what could have been, but you know,
yeah, yeah.
a Clone Wars era TV show. Come on, just do it already.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they're going to do more flashbacks in the Ahsoka
Hmm.
series in the second season, so that could be good.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm cool with that. I don't know,
yeah.
like as cool as a live action Clone Wars spinoff would be. Um, it's tough. Like again, like do we need a live action Clone Wars? Like
Yes.
I'm cool getting the flashbacks in Ahsoka, right? You said
Yes.
yes.
I'll answer
Yeah.
that. Yes.
I mean, if it's like a side thing, like if it's a side, like say live action,
Hmm.
um,
Mini
about
series, like a 6-part.
a mini series about like some clones or whatever, and then you have
Hmm.
Kenobi and Anakin, and them show up, but they're not like the main characters. I'd be down for that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we
I don't
can
know if we need like a full on like Clone Wars like different missions. I don't know. It would be cool to
maybe some
see, but
unwritten
yeah,
stories.
yeah, maybe,
Mm.
yeah. But yeah, and until we find out more about these deleted scenes that she shot or that she reportedly shot, I mean, it's hard to say whether it was
And
like
I mean,
we were really missing anything, right?
what if them putting the story out there is basically testing the waters to see how we feel about bringing Padme back
I mean, it could
for
be right,
Ahsoka for Ahsoka
but
series?
I feel like the majority of fans want to see Natalie
Hmm.
Portman back as
Yeah,
Padme, right?
yep,
So
yeah, of course.
yeah, yeah.
If we could get her
Hopefully that
trending,
comes to
if we could
fruition.
get her
Yeah,
trending, man.
right,
All right.
right. All right, so on to the next story. So we have some Mandalorian and Grogu news via the Bespin Bulletin. So exclusive details on Rhoda the Hutt and Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, I just love the image that they used here. It's like Gladiator, and they put Rhoda the Hutt's head on there. It just looks cheesy.
Yeah.
Uh, So the first few weeks of the new year has been a busy one for Star Wars fans with new information about the Mandalorian and Grogu, the second season of Ahsoka arriving online every few days from various individuals. Some of those reports were ones that Bespin Bulletin was intending to run. Let me scroll down a little bit. So when news broke of White's casting, they shared the Rhoda the Hutt was kind of a buff in the Mandalorian and Grogu. Many found this tidbit to be a little bit odd, funny, and confusing. However, there's a reason Rhoda is a buff boy, and that's because of what his job is. So the rumor is that Rhoda the Hutt is a gladiator in the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Hmm.
hence the image up here.
Okay.
So yeah, apparently he's a gladiator of some sort. Given his profession, the buff body of Rhoda the Hutt makes more sense, and in addition, he has some scarring on his face, likely from the battles he's been in. Like many other gladiators, Rhoda has a weapon, and it's believed that the weapon is a vibro blade or vibro sword. So very similar to like the vibro blade that what's the guy from the Mandalorian now? Paz Vizsla had when he was fighting Mando. So Rhoda is a far cry from the little stinky these days. So yeah. So also, they're saying that the store that Embo is the villain of the Mandalorian. So Embo was a bounty hunter, I believe, from the Clone Wars there. And Embo was hired by the two Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett to take out Rhoda. So that's what the rumor was. But then, but I guess they mixed things up on who hires Din Djarin to capture Rhoda. So the New Republic. So it's rumored that it was the New Republic, and recently another source confirmed that. So we don't know if it's Sigourney Weaver's Colonel Bishop that hires Din Djarin or not, but it definitely seems like a possibility. So yeah, we're still like a year over a year away from the Mandalorian and Grogu, but quite a bit of like character story news coming lately. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on this, well, Rhoda the Hutt being a buff gladiator, and then Embo being a villain? Maybe not the main villain, but what do you think about him being a villain?
I like Embo. I like the detail. I mean, his design.
Yeah,
he's a great looking bounty hunter. Rhoda Hutt. I mean, we got to see where he's at right now.
Right? The buff one.
I thought we overheard that Rhoda is supposed to be kidnapped. I was like, who's going to kidnap this buff, buff Hutt? Right. So
yeah,
I guess what you said was that the order was to pretty much kill him, and so Mandalorian's supposedly like protecting him. Supposedly, I guess that's.
What did it say? It said
Star Wars nerd, what's up?
Yeah, Star Wars nerd in the chat says hello there. I still can't believe they're bringing Stinky the Hutt. Yeah, right? But he's going to be buff, so yeah, where was that? Yeah, I mentioned
so Gladiator.
Yeah, Gladiator. Yeah, interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Embo was hired by the two Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett to take out Rhoda. But
take him out.
Not
kidnap.
Yeah, not kidnap him. Take him out, I guess. Yeah, so who knows? But that's kind of neat that they're tying this stuff in from these other series too, like the two Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett there that were on that platform that all those guys, those poor minions were carrying, right?
Oh man, and I remember that rat he was using to wipe under his sweat off of him. Oh my god, that was disgusting.
Oh jeez.
But yeah,
Star Wars nerd said I'm intrigued to see how they do this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, he's not defense's little
I'm sure it'll
stinky
work out.
anymore.
Yeah, I know. He's not defenseless anymore. He can hold his own, I guess. So
Yeah,
should be interesting to see
should
for
be
sure.
interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's more than a year and a half away.
yeah. It's because what May 26th or May 22nd, 2026 is when it's supposed to come out,
Wow.
right? So
And we said the same thing about the skeleton crew. It felt like it was going to take forever, and we got here
yeah,
quick.
I know. Like
Hopefully, it'll just come. Just like that.
this time next year, we're gonna be like, hey, it's only like a few months away,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
we got
Colonel Bishop is the Sigourney Weaver's character.
yeah,
Hires Din Djarin,
which yeah, that's
possibly,
what the article's saying. It could be possibly
yeah.
Sigourney Weaver's Colonel Bishop hires Din Djarin. So we'll have to see, right? I'm sure. I'm sure they'll release a trailer. Like they're for sure going to show people at Celebration, right? They're going to show people there. Maybe we'll get a leak trailer or something like that.
Yeah.
So should be interesting.
So they did the Skeleton Crew league trailer way before they
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. So maybe that's the case.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it should be interesting to see
Embo's
what happens with that.
I can't wait to see Embo how
in live action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So should be cool to see for sure.
So Diego Luna's mourns the end of Andor. My next story for this evening. So Diego Luna mourns the end of Andor, looks forward to sharing it with fans.
Yes.
The Golden Globes was held. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say, and Diego Luna, we are excited for you to share it with us. So.
Yes.
Right?
Oh man, this is going to be. I think this is going to be the most epic show in a while, man. Because I mean, I like Skeleton Crew, but I think for epicness, I think this leading into Rogue One is just going to be all cameos and the potential where this is going to go to. So Golden Globes were held recently, and the ceremony came a trickle of Star Wars news. There, Diego Luna was asked briefly about Andor. Luna shares that he's feeling sad at the final wrap of the show, exclaiming because it's the last season. It's the end. But he's excited for audience to watch. Andor Season 2 is set to premiere April 22nd, only 2 days after Star Wars Celebration concludes, which means it's a strong likelihood that they will hold a special early premiere screening for fans at Celebration. We don't know yet if Disney will release it as a multiple episode premiere, but if the last several shows have any indication, it would be at least 2 episode premiere. So everyone included involved with season 1 in front of the camera is returning. Season 2 will also feature the return of Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic, Alan Tudyk as K2SO. The team of writers is returning also. Tony Gilroy wrote episode 1 through 3. Bo Williman wrote episode 4 through 6. Dan Gilroy penned 7 through 9. And Tom Bissell drafted the episode 10 and 12. Ariel Kleiman, 6 episodes. I'm not sure what. But directing episodes, 3 episodes, Janus Mintz, Allison Ruben Palacio, 3 episodes. Now that we've in the new year, hopefully we'll expect to see more drops and more news coming from Andor. And so I'm super excited. And we got a little list of directors and which ones they're directing. Maybe they're taking place, like one director is taking place between a certain timeline, because it looks like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, right? Yeah. So you got Ariel Kleiman Kleiman directing 6 episodes. So who knows? It could be like the first 6, could be like the 6 in the middle. Who knows? It could be like the first 3, the last 3, tie things. I don't know. I would imagine it would have to do with like story arcs, right? You would have these and the what's supposed to be happening is every 3 episodes it's supposed to jump ahead another year. So we're supposed to cover like 4 years in 12 episodes.
So that's a clean little break because it's one writer for 3 episodes, which is
which is cool.
Yeah.
And another director. Well,
just
director
concentrate on
for
that
6 episodes.
Your little story arc right there.
Yeah. Right.
So that's exciting,
Yeah. No, that is exciting, right?
Yeah. So it looks like
should be cool to see how it gets all tied together.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So no,
and even the way things are written too, different writers for your 3 episodes, right? So
different writers, different directors. That's a cool little way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like basically like a trilogy, like of
almost
3 episodes. 3 episodes, a little small trilogy, or one part of a trilogy. So
yeah, almost.
Yeah. So they got 369, and then the last 3 episodes.
Yeah. So yeah, should be interesting to see. Star Wars Nerd said, I can't lie, I wish Lucasfilm would drop everything all at once on TV wise. The last few shows felt like movies just cut up. Not a big fan of that feeling or format. I mean, yeah, I agree to an extent. Like it would be cool to binge watch it all, but then it's like, well, then what are you going to watch after that, right?
I kind of like it when they space it out, It gives you something to look forward to the next week.
Exactly. It gives you something to look forward to. And then that's just how, like, before streaming, like, that's how every other TV show, like, on cable TV was, right? Like,
yeah. And it kind of builds up the hype. It builds up the hype for the next week.
Yeah. I'm glad we're getting 12 episodes again. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know why they haven't done 12 episodes of every other series. I mean, it would be cool if we got 12. Yeah, always go back to the original 6. Duh. Yeah. Yeah, so excited for Andor. I think it'll be cool. Mace Windu survived. Says, yeah. I mean, I think so. I think Mace Windu is alive somewhere.
Yep.
Waiting to come back. Bring him back. Samuel. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson wants to come back as Mace Windu, right? Yeah,
they could have done 12 episodes for Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
they
for
still
sure.
They still had story to tell.
So, yeah,
they kind of the ending felt a little rushed to us, and they didn't give us.
See, and
I felt like
there was a rumor too that they were going to end up on Tatooine or something, right? That was like a rumor for a little while. That they might end up on Tatooine in the Skeleton Crew, right? So,
I think they should have, in my opinion, they could have extended out like them going to the different planets a little bit more, because we only got one planet that was part of the gems, other than at Atkins, that we got to see. If we were to got some other planets, would see what happened to those planets. So, but they could have done a little bit more. But hey, the show was good. I enjoyed it.
It was good. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Order says hello there. Hey, Star Wars Order. Thanks for hopping in the chat.
Yep.
But yeah, let's jump into our main kind of topic for this evening. Star Wars Nerd says I'd be down for them to return to 12 to 20 episode seasons of TV shows, especially when episodes were like 30 to 50 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so okay, so then here's the question, Eric, as well as people in the chat. Then what would you prefer? Would you guys prefer, like, Star Wars Nerds saying like 12 to 20 episodes of like 24-minute shows or episodes?
Mm-hmm. Rather than
like 43 minutes, 40 minutes, and there's only like 8 episodes.
Oh no, I prefer, even if it's 30 minutes, I prefer the longer, get more out of it, out of the season, more episodes rather than a shorter length but a longer show. Yeah.
Because like Bad Batch gets what? How many did that get? Quite a few, didn't it?
Bad Batch. Oh man, I don't remember how many.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up right now. How many episodes were there? 47 episodes altogether. So like season 1 had season 1 had 16 episodes. Season 2 had 16, I think, as well. Yeah, and then season 3 was shorter because it was the last of the season. Season 3 had 15. Had one episode less. So
yeah, I would take 15 episodes if they're 30 minutes long.
Like if they're like 24 to 30 minutes.
But if they're longer episodes, I'll take that too.
Yeah, but like what would you rather? Like the shorter, more episodes of the shorter episodes, or like 40 to 1 hour episodes? Like they hardly ever get close to an hour. It's usually like 43, 45, maybe 50, but what would you prefer? Like 50, let's say 45 to 50-minute episodes. Would you rather 8 to 12 of those, or would you rather 16 episodes, but they're no more than 30 minutes each?
I prefer that. I want more episodes, man. I want more episodes, even if they're short episodes. But if there were longer episodes, 35,
that's the dream,
minutes,
right?
That'd be
that's the dream, right? Which I think Andor's perfect. Andor's great.
Andor,
like
exactly.
They're giving us, yeah. I'm always for longer seasons and longer episodes, but certain shows I would be fine with 10 to 12 30-minute episodes. Yeah, right. I can't pick. They both suck. I mean, you're not wrong. Go the Sopranos route. 56 minutes of TV, 4 minutes of credits, and then 12 to 20 episodes each season. Right?
Wow.
Crazy. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Disney will start doing that one. Maybe if Netflix, maybe if it was on Netflix, they might go that route, but it's Disney, right? But yeah, as everyone in the chat and watching on the replay can see, A-list actors in Star Wars, is it good or bad? Like, what do we think? Let us know in the chat. So like, what sparked this discussion is because the rumor that Ryan Gosling is very close to signing on to be in the new Sean Levy movie, and like as good of an actor that Ryan Gosling is, like, because he's been in some great stuff, a wide variety of stuff, but he hasn't been in Star Wars yet, so it's a different thing for him. Like, he was in Blade Runner, so he kind of has some sci-fi experience.
Yeah.
But like, we've seen some A-list actors in Star Wars, but like for the majority of the time, like they brought on unknowns or people who are like upcoming. They're like up and coming. They're not A-list though. Like, they're up and coming. So like, I don't know. Like, what do you think? You think A-list actors is a good thing in Star Wars? Because we've seen some times where they've brought in some A-list actors either as cameos or to act in the series, and it turned out good. But then we've seen other examples where it turned out kind of not so well, right? So, and we can go over some of those examples as well.
Yeah, no, it does bring a spotlight on Star Wars, which I think is much needed right now. And I think
for sure.
Yeah.
Like a heavy hitter like Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and talk about a couple of A-list actors for their time, or actors that were well known at their time. So on New Hope, we had Alex Guinness. He had his he
was an A-list actor. Yeah.
A-list actor. We had Peter Cushing, also A-list actor. We had, of course, James Earl Jones, but see, Peter Cushing's has done a lot of like sci-fi, like Dracula type.
Yeah. At the time, I would say James Earl Jones wasn't really A-list at the time. I don't think
he's done. Okay, you may be right about
Let
that.
me look. Let me James Earl Jones. Let me IMDb.
Because I'm not. I think color purple.
Yeah, let me just see like what he did before Star Wars, right?
I think maybe color purple was after Star Wars. So you may.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me see what he did before like 1977 then. Where are we here? 96. I mean, he's got a lot of he's done a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I mean, I don't know too many of these movies before Star Wars, but like he was in quite a bit, but like
He
I don't
did
know how
he did
big of a
some
name he was.
TV show
Yeah,
movies.
he did some TV show. Yeah, he did some TV series and stuff like that. But like I don't know how big of a name he was compared to Alec Guinness. Like Alec
Mm.
Guinness, I think was a bigger name back then.
And I think that
So
you may be right because that's the reason why he chose him. One of the reasons why he
over
chose
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles because he
Because
had
Orson Welles was
darker
really
voice, but at the same time he was a little less known actor than Orson
yeah.
Welles. If they would
Because
have chosen
Orson Welles was very recognizable,
to
right?
recognize,
And yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, but Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness for sure. I think at
yeah.
that time they were very well known. Alec Guinness definitely,
So we
and
have
that worked out well,
yeah.
right? So those worked out well.
Phantom Menace got Liam Neeson, Samuel Jackson, and Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor
Yeah.
did
So
Train Spotting, I think, before.
yeah, yeah. So like I would still consider
He was
Ewan
up and
McGregor at the
coming.
time was like up and coming.
Mhm.
But like yeah, Liam Neeson had done some stuff, but yeah, definitely Samuel L. Jackson. He was an
Yeah.
A-list guy, and I mean, I think that worked out well as well, right?
Mhm.
Like Mace Windu is one of the best characters to come out of the prequels, right?
Sure, yep. We
Yeah,
got Attack of the Clones, Christopher Lee. He's in that same genre of vampire.
yeah, yeah. So that would be like
Jimmy
your
Smith.
heavy hitter.
Jimmy Smith
Jimmy
was
Smith.
also A-list.
Yeah, I guess was he A-list? Yeah,
I
I
think
guess
he
so.
was.
He wasn't.
I think he
I
was
think so at
A-list.
the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we got Rogue One, and I'm gonna put Diego Luna there because he was known in the Spanish side of like in
Yeah,
films
yeah.
and
Not
shows
not
and
so
stuff
much
like that.
not so much on the American
No.
movies or yeah. So
But
yeah,
he
it's tough.
brought a certain demographic
Yeah, yeah, for
to
sure.
to
For
there.
sure. Yeah.
Donnie Yen is a
Donnie Yen.
martial
Yeah, in
artist
Rogue One.
known
Yep.
in the Asian community.
Yeah.
So we got Solo Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Emilia Clarke. I believe she was,
I would say
or was she up and
I
coming?
would say more up and coming. I don't know if she had done like a whole bunch of stuff that she was recognized for, but I could
Mhm.
be wrong. But Woody
Paul,
Harrelson for sure.
yeah,
Paul
Cheers,
Bettany for
Paul
sure.
Bettany.
Yeah.
Of course, then we got Mandalorian Pedro Pascal, Lizzo, and we were talking about this a little
Yeah.
earlier.
Again, Pedro Pascal before the Mandalorian, like I think the only big thing he did was Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
Game of Thrones, and he's done like I think he was known in the Spanish community also.
Yeah. Yeah.
For I don't know what
So
exactly, but of course, Lizzo, Jack Black, and Christopher Lloyd. I mean, if you were
yeah.
to break down some more of the shows and series, I'm sure you'll find some more like what's his name?
Ju-
Donovan from Lost. Forgot his name. He was on the prequels. I mean, the sequel trilogy. I forgot which one exactly. Rise of Skywalker. He was on.
oh yeah. He was in Lord of the
Monahan
Rings.
or not? No,
Yeah,
not
Dominic Monaghan, I think. Wasn't
Dominic.
it?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So he
He's not
was
an A-list, but
pretty
he's
well.
known, yeah, for
Yeah, he was
long.
known. Yeah, he was known for some stuff. Yeah, but like up until, I mean, up until now, most of the A-list celebrities that they brought in were, they weren't like main characters.
Yeah.
So like Luke, Leia, Han, and them, they were relatively unknown. For the prequels, like your main characters, Obi-Wan was kind of up and coming. Ewan McGregor was up and coming.
Oops, sorry.
Natalie Portman was kind of still unheard of. She hadn't done a whole lot, like, so I would say up and coming. Hayden Christensen was pretty much unknown, right?
Yeah.
So like they had A-list actors,
Like support,
but they were like they were supporting roles, right? So like even Carl Weathers, like in The Mandalorian, he's a pretty well known guy. I would say A-list, but again, supporting role, right? Whereas Pedro Pascal, like the only thing I've heard of him before The Mandalorian was Game of Thrones, and I didn't even watch Game of Thrones, right? It was Game of Thrones, right? That he was in?
Game of Thrones.
I think so.
Yeah. I didn't watch it, so I'm not 100% sure. Clarify for sure.
Yeah. So Hayden was in Goosebumps, I think. Really?
Oh, wow.
Or Night of the Living Dummy. Maybe. I'm just going to go through some comments on the chat here. Where are we? Didn't even know Sean Levy was making a Star Wars movie. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do. Because, again, like Eric and I have discussed this before, I think Sean Levy making a Star Wars film makes more sense than Taika Waititi.
For sure.
So, for sure. Star Wars Order says, I was on the side of no A-list celebrities, but Jude Law. Yeah, exactly. Jude Law is an A-list celebrity. And he did the role of Jod Narwood very well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. When I heard that Ken was coming to Star Wars, I was like, F no. Yeah. But on the flip side, he was also in other movies as well. Like we said, Blade Runner. He was in what's that? His most recent one where he was a stuntman. What was that one called again?
Driven? Maybe.
No. I mean, was he in Driven? He might have been in that one too. No, I can't think of the name of it. I'm gonna look it up right now. What is it? I mean, he was in a Notebook. He was in Drive. The Fall Guy, where he was
Drive?
he was in Drive. The Fall Guy, where he was the stunt guy.
I said Driven. Drive.
Yeah, it was Drive. Blade Runner, right? The Nice Guys he was in, right? The Big Short. So like he's been in quite a bit of stuff other than Ken, playing Ken in the Barbie movie. So
we gotta stick to those bad roles, man. Like bring those up as the example. No Ken.
Right. Yeah. I don't want Ken in Star Wars. He's an effing Barbie doll, right? Eric just earned a subscriber. There you go. Eric.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. I mean, he did some good roles. He did some good roles. I mean,
and if we
were talking last
we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. If he comes in that same kind of that fashion he came in Blade Runner. That in that same kind of fashion, not too much, in his lines and anything like that, but just meaningful words and action. Then
what if he's playing a Jedi though? Like what if he's playing a Jedi?
I don't know if I could see him as a Jedi.
It's hard to see him as a Jedi. It is.
I was in the same camp.
Yeah, right.
I was a Jedi. Like that's awful.
Yeah, but I mean, it worked out. Like I thought he was really well. Like he played the role very well, right? But like you mentioned, Lizzo, Jack Black. Like Lizzo didn't throw me off too much. But like Jack Black in Star Wars was kind of like that was like, I don't know. Same with Christopher Lloyd.
I liked his character.
I liked his character. And then Yeah, Beckett. So Woody
Woody
Harrelson
Harrelson, yeah.
again, like kind of a supporting role. Like
Mhm.
I don't think he was really a main role because your main role would be Han Solo and Kira,
Yeah.
right? Those would be your main characters. Um, Dryden Voss. I mean, he was good,
Dryden
right?
was
Yeah.
yeah.
So like sometimes it does work out, but like other times it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just see that A-list actor, right?
Yeah,
But like
as
Eric said,
the
like
character, right?
it,
Like,
it's kind of what Star Wars needs right now. It needs that draw to the theaters, right? Like it needs, oh, there's a big name attached to Star Wars. Okay, let's go watch
yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
fans of Ryan Gosling are going to come watch Star Wars maybe for the first time, and maybe they'll get hooked and they'll go back and watch other Star Wars content on Disney Plus. So
Yep. So the
seeing
actor,
Jack Black was great. I mean,
it was Jack
it
Black
seemed
though. That's
off.
the thing.
Yeah, it seemed off. No comment on Lizzo. Captain Bombardier, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
I think it would be, to me, it's like an investment if you bring a well-known actor who can act. If
yeah.
not, it's it's an anchor. Like Jack Black, he's an anchor for the show. It's just gonna. I
Yeah.
mean, I like Jack Black, but I mean, Jack Black was Jack Black, you know.
Yeah. Whereas Ryan Gosling can
For
act. He can play other characters. Like Jack Black's always Jack Black.
yeah,
Right. It's like
yeah.
if you
So
brought in Tom Cruise into Star Wars, right? Like Tom Cruise
yeah,
is just Tom Cruise,
yeah.
right? Um, so Star Wars Order said I would prefer Ryan Reynolds over Ryan Gosling. I mean, so when the news of Sean Levy making this film, and he's even working with the same writer that he worked on the Adam Project with, which again he worked with Ryan Reynolds on that
Mhm.
one. And if I think you saw it, yeah, you saw the Adam
Yeah,
Project,
yeah, I did.
yeah, and you can tell like Sean Levy, his writer, and Ryan Reynolds, they're all like fans of Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Because like the whole like
Mm-hmm.
whipping that staff out, right? And then the
Yeah,
younger version of him is like, oh, that's totally a lightsaber, and it's like so like they're throwing these
yeah. These references,
nods to Star Wars, these
yeah,
references, right? So
yeah.
like they're either all three of them are fans or like one of them at least is a fan, right? So
So it's like when you keep giving these, I don't know, like accolades or you know these, you bring it up on your movies, man. It's like you're showing Disney, hey, I wanted to do something with you guys, you know. So I'm
yeah,
glad.
Star Wars Order, that's Tony's girl, don't respect her. Disrespect her. The second Star Wars movie featured B. Arthur and Jefferson Starship.
Jefferson Starship.
Star
Oh, wasn't
Wars
that
nerd.
the
Well, he can get Lizzo. I'll take Bix and Shin
oh
Hati.
Bix, yeah.
Bix, yeah. Aggressively relaxing. We don't talk about that one. Fair trade, right? Or Riva.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, and then Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka is also like, because she's at the
Yeah,
point, like,
she was known, yeah. She's
right?
done stuff before.
So, but I mean, she was fan casted as Ahsoka, right?
Yeah.
Which worked out well, and she is Ahsoka. She is Ahsoka.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, A-list actors have worked out, but like we said, like Jack Black is Jack Black, but I think
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling he's got enough of a resume, an acting resume. He's got enough pedigree to do Star Wars, but
Yeah.
it's still like it's hard to picture him in like what character we can picture him. Like
Mhm.
what do you think he's going to be? Like it's hard to
I
picture
think
him
they're
in
just gonna
Star
make him
Wars because he hasn't.
yeah. I think they'll probably end up
Yeah,
making him a Jedi. I mean,
they
that's the
might.
go, yeah. The
Yeah.
hero. So,
Hmm.
but it's kind of hard to see him would be as a. But then again, you know, yeah, I'm sure he'll be all right.
Yeah. Alec, yeah, that's exactly what Eric was saying too. Alec Guinness
Yep.
was a big deal back in the day, yeah. But like again, like he was a supporting character too.
Yeah,
So
but to be,
yeah,
the whole show about, centered around one character, or the main character, I think,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
much needed. I
This is
think they need
yeah,
this.
and I
For
think like I think it really is the first time that they have such a well known actor as like the main character, which is from what my understanding is that Ryan Gosling is going to be like the main
hmm
character in this, right? So
Yeah, kudos for them for
yeah,
securing
yeah.
A+ actor.
Star Wars Nerd said, "I don't remember how I found your channel or when I subscribed, Christopher, but I'm glad I did. This is a great streaming conversation. Well, thank you, and
Appreciate it.
glad
So
you
yeah,
subscribed to Eric as well. Yeah,
appreciate it.
and
Appreciate it.
definitely check out both our channels. If you're watching on Eric's channel right now, check out mine. Seriously, Star Wars, and if you're on mine right now, check out Eric's our speed reviews. We both put out weekly, pretty regular content. Like I put it out weekly. So
Yeah,
and of course we're live every Tuesday, right? So
Tuesday,
yeah,
7:30.
and next week will be a good one too because we're ranking all the live action TV series, the TV shows for Star Wars. So we got 7 of them. We got
So be good.
Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka,
Go.
Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew. So 7, right? So that'll be a fun time as well. But yeah, so A-list actors, good or bad? I mean, I guess it just depends on the actor, right? Like we said, Jack Black was kind of like
He's A-list.
if you
No.
yeah if you get an actor who can act, then I think it could be okay. Like we saw, like who was it that said it? Was it Star Wars Nerd or Star Wars Order that said Jude Law, right? Like that
Yeah.
worked out really well.
Mhm.
And Jude Law is a great actor, right? So Ryan Gosling's a great actor. Not saying Jack Black's not a great actor, but like everything Jack Black is in, it's Jack Black,
Mhm.
right? So like again,
Yeah.
that comparison, Tom Cruise in Star Wars, like it's just going to be Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
Yeah, so
So
there's certain character actors that pretty much they portray
yeah,
themselves.
exactly.
This is what you're gonna get from these actors.
Yeah,
Um,
but like when we talked about the rumor that Henry Cavill was being eyed
oh,
for like a Star Wars movie, right? Like that was a few weeks ago, or
it
it
was
might have
first.
been even like the end.
Yeah.
It might have been like the end of last year or whatever, end of 2024 when we were talking about it. But
Mm-hmm.
like he's a pretty versatile actor, right?
Yep.
Like he's been in The Witcher, he's been in Superman. So like I can see him in Star Wars.
Sure, for sure.
Like what A-list actors could you see in Star Wars, Eric? And same with the chat. Like what A-list actors could you see being in Star Wars where like they're a good enough actor and they're not like the same character all the time? Because there's a lot of actors who are just like the same character all the time.
I think Israel Elba. Israel Elba would be,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
he would be an amazing either Sith or Jedi. Great actor.
Yeah.
What other actors out there?
Danny DeVito recasted as Anakin. Somebody do that, please. Like somebody
that'd be hilarious.
do like AI Danny DeVito as Anakin. I'm all for anyone whoever coming into Star Wars, actor, writer, director. I just want them to understand the basics of Star Wars and respect the established lore. Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
There's certain rules, man, in Star Wars. You just can't make them do anything you want them to do. There's certain things.
I mean, I get that. I get where a lot of fans are saying that, but at the same time, like I can't just stick to like just all the old stuff. Like, so okay, I know some people might. Oh, I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this one. The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker. Like people were upset about how his character was in that, but like the whole end thing where he did the force projection across, like that's something new. I like that. I like that it showed how powerful Luke became after all this time.
It showed how powerful he was,
project himself.
But it leaves you as a fan saying, why come he didn't get off the planet and go do what he was supposed to do instead of being a forced projection.
I don't know. I mean, I think
do the things that we meet his sister, actually be there with his sister, that moment with her, not this.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that.
That's the thing. I was like,
I liked it because it showed how powerful he was after all this time, right? Like he's still, true. Yeah, right. There were elements I enjoyed of The Last Jedi, but him doing auding on the Force was just lame. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed The Last Jedi. I did. Like,
I think for the most part, visually it was beautiful, but the story, I'm gonna have to go over this over and over again, man. But
yeah. Well, we'll have to have a discussion on the show one time about the sequels. Maybe one time we'll do that if you guys would like to see that. But yeah, so for me, A-list actor Christian Bale, I love as an actor.
Oh yeah,
he's a great actor. I don't know what kind of character he would play, but I think he could pull off a Star Wars role.
I think an Imperial officer.
That'd be cool.
He would play an awesome officer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think right now, I think Ryan Gosling could pull it off. It's just hard to picture him in Star Wars because he hasn't done Star Wars yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like none of these other actors were in Star Wars before either. Like when Samuel L. Jackson was cast in Star Wars back in like 97, 98, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whenever he was cast in it, like we didn't have, like, we had the internet, but like we didn't have the internet to this extent where we were all like, oh, talking crap about the actors and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm sure there were people who were like, I don't know if that's a good choice, right? Yeah. If we dig up the threads from like a chat room or something, I'm sure there were people there thinking the same thing about Samuel L. Jackson, but it worked out well.
Yeah, it did.
Right. And usually, like Samuel L. Jackson's, like he plays the same character as well, usually. Mm-hmm. But he was different in Star Wars. I don't know how to explain that, but I think he was different. He wasn't his usual self.
Windu. Yep.
Mace Windu. The baddest Jedi this around. Yep. Yeah. Bale as an officer or a Jedi Temple Guard, I can see. Yeah, Jedi Temple Guard would be cool, right? Yeah. I don't even know what A-list actor I could see in Star Wars. That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, like there's like I don't think I'd want Brad Pitt in Star Wars.
No.
Like I said, Tom Cruise, no.
He's not a good fit.
No. Maybe Edward Norton. Edward Norton's kind of like, again, one of those actors who's like he's not himself. Like he's not always playing himself,
Edward Norton. Oh,
yeah.
The first Hulk.
The first Hulk. Yeah,
he's a good actor.
Yeah. I think him.
Not a very imposing character.
I don't know what.
Not a very imposing, but he's a good actor.
Taylor Swift as Abeloth. That's got to happen. I mean, maybe. Let her show off her acting chops.
No.
I'd rather Taylor Swift as Abeloth than Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
I mean, she's what? You're gonna say you want Lady Gaga?
No. I mean, sometimes she's good, and most times she's bad. Sometimes she's good though.
Yeah.
No, she was terrible as Harley Quinn, but she's done some other stuff.
She was good in that movie with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah, we'll leave it with you. chat and people watching on the replay, let us know in the comments who you think, what you think about A-list actors in Star Wars. Is it good or bad? Who you want? Who could you see in Star Wars? Can you see
Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage? Oh God, no. He's another guy who's just like, he's always Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Star Wars Nerd said, I liked Lady Gaga in American Horror Story, but that's all I've ever seen her in. Yes, I haven't seen her in that one, but I saw her in that one with Bradley Cooper where he's the drunk country singer, like with the alcohol problems. So, and she was great in that. Yeah, John Krasinski, I could see John Krasinski. Yeah, he's a good actor. See, that's kind of what I was thinking with Ryan Gosling here. I think he has a very similar look to Kyle Katarn or a Dash Rendar from Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, that would be,
right?
Yeah, John Krasinski, he can pull that off.
Yeah, John Krasinski. That's a good one, Star Wars nerd. I agree with that. But yeah, like Ryan Gosling has that same look too. Like I think like with the facial hair, I think he can pull off a Dash Rendar or a Kyle Katarn as well, right? And I mean, and who knows? Like maybe they could be doing that. Like my mind would be pretty blown if like the next movie they brought in Kyle Katarn into Star Wars canon or Dash Rendar, right?
Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
I mean, and the good thing about it is that he is somewhat in the wheelhouse of Disney, where being he's in MCU. So I mean, they can bring him in.
Keanu is Revan. Yeah.
Yep. Nobody else.
I mean,
Revan than Keanu Reeves.
No, and like I know we talked about it on our show here, that they were looking at him for the Acolyte to play Master Soul, and he turned it down. I think.
Yeah, I'm so glad
he turned it down. I'm sure glad that they didn't do that, because now it leaves things open, especially with that other rumor that they were potentially working on a Old Republic series or movie or whatever, right? Like something based in that time frame. So maybe they could cast Keanu as Revan still. I think he's going to get fan cast as Revan at some point. When, I don't know, but like you got to think it's going to happen at some point now, because you got James Mangold working on the Dawn of the Jedi movie, and then you jump ahead like however many years that is from that movie to Knights of the Old Republic, do like a series or like a movie, and you introduce Revan.
Yep.
Right.
Just like they did the Rosario Dawson. Oh, that
Vin Diesel is
Darth Malgus?
Darth Malgus, maybe. Interesting. That is interesting.
I don't hate that idea.
I don't hate it either. Like, because when he was cast as Groot, when they said like he was going to be Groot, I was like, I can't. But like, yeah, but like he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's really good.
I do like that one. I do like that one. Yeah, Vin Diesel as Darth Malgus. Yeah, I do like that. Right. So
yeah, mate. I'm sure he's seen the. Edits before, so I'm sure he'll probably like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Get Keanu on. Let's get him cast as Revan.
I'll take a small cut from that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But I think that does it for this episode. Like I said, next episode we're going to be ranking all the live action Star Wars shows. So
have a special guest.
Yeah, with our special guest for next week. So stay tuned for that. Join us next week and let us know how you would rank the live action Star Wars series. But yeah, thanks everyone in the chat for joining in and spending your evening with us, and we will see everyone in the next episode.